Christ the Redeemer statue, Cristo Redentor and geography. The Christ the Redeemer statue is located in Rio de Janeiro, Brazil, one of the world's most vibrant and scenic cities. The monument stands at the summit of Mount Corcovado, which is part of the Tijuca National Park, a vast tropical rainforest that lies within the urban boundaries of Rio. Altitude: the statue sits at an elevation of about 700 meters, 2,300 feet above sea level, making it a commanding presence over the city. Coordinates: approximately 2,257 s latitude and 4,312 w longitude. Surroundings: from its vantage point, visitors can view many of Rio's iconic landmarks, including Guanabara Bay to the east, Copacabana and Ipanema beaches to the south, Sugarloaf Mountain, Pão de Açúcar to the east, sprawling neighborhoods of Rio, and the famous Maracana Stadium environment. The statue is surrounded by the lush greenery of Tijuca Forest, the world's largest urban rainforest, which provides a natural contrast to the urban sprawl below. Accessibility: its mountaintop location makes it both majestic and slightly challenging to reach. Visitors can ascend by the Corcovado Rack Railway, vans authorized by the park, or by hiking trails that wind through the forest. This combination of towering mountain, tropical forest, and panoramic ocean and city views gives Christ the Redeemer a setting unlike any other monument in the world. Historical background: the story of the Christ the Redeemer statue, Cristo Redentor, begins long before its actual construction in the 20th century. The idea of erecting a monumental Christian figure in Rio de Janeiro dates back to the mid-19th century, 1850's first proposal. A Catholic priest named Pedro Maria Bosch first suggested building a religious monument atop Mount Corcovado. His vision was to honor Princess Isabel of Brazil, the daughter of Emperor Pedro II, who was a devout Catholic. However, at the time, the project did not gain support and was abandoned. 1889. Brazil becomes a republic. When Brazil became a republic, the government adopted a policy of separation between church and state. This made religious monuments less of a political priority, delaying any plans for construction. 1920. Revival of the idea. The concept of a grand monument resurfaced in the early 20th century, championed by the Catholic Circle of Rio de Janeiro, a religious group that wanted to counteract what they saw as the growing influence of secularism in Brazilian society. They proposed building a statue of Christ as a symbol of faith, protection, and unity for the Brazilian people. 1921 to 1922. Public support and fundraising. The campaign gained momentum during Brazil's preparations for the centennial of independence, 1822 to 1922. Thousands of Brazilian Catholics donated money to finance the construction, turning the project into a collective effort of faith and devotion. 1922-1931. Construction period. The design was finalized in the early 1920s, and actual construction began in 1922. Over the next 9 years, workers transported materials up the steep slopes of Mount Corcovado, a feat of logistics and engineering at the time. The statue was built piece by piece, with the head and hands designed separately and shipped to Brazil from Europe. 1931 inauguration. On October 12, 1931, the Christ the Redeemer statue was officially inaugurated. The date was chosen to coincide with the feast day of Our Lady of Aparecida, Brazil's patron saint, adding symbolic religious significance. The dedication ceremony was attended by political leaders, church officials, and thousands of citizens. From That moment onward, the monument became not only a national symbol of Brazil's faith and identity, but also an international icon of Christianity. Architecture and design. The Christ the Redeemer statue is not just a symbol of faith, it is also a masterpiece of engineering and art that blends Brazilian vision with European craftsmanship. Its design, materials, and construction methods were carefully chosen to ensure both aesthetic beauty and long-term durability. Given its mountaintop location and exposure to the elements, designers e contributo Heitor da Silva Costa, menos a Brasília, engineer who led the overall project and oversaw structural design, Carlos Oswald, a Brazilian artist who created the original design sketch for the monument, Paul Landowski, a French Polish sculptor who crafted the statue's head and hands in Paris. These were later shipped to Brazil and assembled on dash site. This collaboration of Brazilian and European talents produced a monument that combines religious symbolism, artistic elegance, and technical strength. Dimensions: height of the statue, 30 meters, 98 feet pedestal, 8 meters, 26 feet. Total height, 38 meters, 124 feet arm span, 28 meters, 92 feet. Weight, approximately 635 metric tons from a distance. The proportions give the impression of Christ embracing the entire city of Rio, symbolizing protection and peace. Materials and construction: core structure, reinforced concrete, chosen for strength and resistance to strong winds and storms. Outer covering: soapstone tiles, selected for their durability, smooth texture, and natural resistance to heat and weathering. Each piece of soapstone was hand-cut into small triangles and carefully applied, giving the statue a smooth and polished finish. The use of soapstone not only protected the monument, but also gave it a distinctive light gray-white color that reflects sunlight beautifully. Construction challenges: building on top of Mount Corcovado was a major challenge. Roads and the Corcovado rack railway were used to transport materials. Large pieces of the statue, such as the head and hands, were designed in Paris, cast in clay molds, then shipped to Brazil, and finally reassembled atop the mountain. Workers often had to climb scaffolding at great heights, facing strong winds and unpredictable weather conditions. Despite these difficulties, construction was completed in just 9 years, 1922 to 1931, a remarkable achievement for the time. Design, symbolism: the open arms of Christ form the shape of a cross, reinforcing its Christian symbolism. The gesture represents peace, welcome, and divine embrace, with Christ looking over Rio and its people. Its placement at the summit of Corcovado reflects the idea of faith rising above the city, visible from nearly every point in Rio. The architecture and design of Christ the Redeemer successfully combined functionality, resilience, and spiritual meaning, making it one of the most celebrated monuments in the world. Symbolism and cultural significance: the Christ the Redeemer statue, Cristo Redentor, is far more than a towering work of architecture. It is a global icon of faith, unity, and peace. Its imagery and meaning extend beyond Brazil, giving it universal cultural importance. Religious symbolism: the statue represents Jesus Christ as the Redeemer of humanity, reflecting the central Christian belief in salvation and divine love. The outstretched arms form the shape of a cross, while also symbolizing Christ's embrace of all people, welcoming, protecting, and blessing the city of Rio de Janeiro. Positioned high on Mount Corcovado, it reflects the spiritual idea of divine presence watching over the people below. National significance: Christ the Redeemer has become an enduring national symbol of Brazil. It represents the country's deep Catholic heritage. Brazil has the largest Catholic population in the world. The monument also stands for Brazilian identity, pride and hospitality, conveying the warmth and openness of the Brazilian people. Global symbolism recognized around the world. The statue has transcended its religious meaning to become a universal symbol of peace and unity. In 2007, it was declared one of the new 7 wonders of the world, alongside landmarks like the Great Wall of China and Machu Picchu in 2012. It became part of the UNESCO World Heritage Site designation of Rio de Janeiro's cultural landscape, affirming its global cultural value. Cultural presence. The statue is a frequent feature in films, documentaries, and music videos, often used to represent Brazil or South America as a whole. It is a backdrop for major events such as the 2014 FIFA World Cup, the 2016 Summer Olympics, in Rio, and various papal visits. The monument is often illuminated with special lighting to mark important causes, holidays, and global solidarity campaigns. For example, lighting up in green for environmental awareness, or in the colors of national flags during global tragedies. Symbol of hope and peace beyond its religious context. Christ, the Redeemer, has come to represent hope, compassion, and reconciliation in a world often divided by conflict. Its open arms serve as a universal image of acceptance and inclusiveness, resonating with people of many cultures and beliefs. In summary, Christ the Redeemer is a spiritual, national, and international symbol, a monument that unites faith, culture, and humanity. It embodies both Brazil's Catholic devotion and a global message of peace that transcends borders. Cleaning and preservation projects, 1990s, early restorations over the years. The statue's surface had been darkened by pollution and weathering. Restoration projects began, focusing on cleaning the soapstone tiles and repairing damaged sections. 2000 Millennium Illumination. A modern lighting system was installed, allowing for dynamic illumination. Since then, Christ the Redeemer has been lit up in various colors to mark religious holidays, national events, and global causes such as pink for breast cancer awareness. Major restoration 2010. In 2010, the statue underwent its most extensive restoration since its construction. The project cost around $4 million and included replacement of soapstone tiles on the outer surface, repair of cracks and fissures in the concrete, cleaning and waterproofing of the structure, installation of a modern internal drainage system to prevent water damage, upgraded electrical and lighting systems. This restoration returned the monument to its original brilliance and ensured its continued preservation. Lightning and weather damage. Christ the Redeemer is frequently struck by lightning, given its height and location. January 2008, a storm caused small damage to the head and fingers. January 2014, a lightning strike damaged the right thumb, requiring immediate repair. Regular maintenance crews are tasked with replacing tiles and repairing minor damage caused by storms. Continuous maintenance because of its exposure. The monument requires regular upkeep, inspecting and replacing soapstone tiles, checking for structural cracks caused by wind and rain, updating lighting and safety systems, ensuring accessibility features. Elevators and escalators remain functional for millions of visitors each year. Preservation as World Heritage. Since being included in Rio de Janeiro's UNESCO World Heritage Site listing in 2012, the statue is recognized as a protected cultural landmark. Restoration efforts are monitored to maintain authenticity while using modern techniques to extend its lifespan. In short, Christ the Redeemer has been carefully restored and modernized multiple times, ensuring it continues to shine as both a spiritual beacon and architectural marvel for generations to come. Notable features: the Christ the Redeemer statue, Cristo Redentor, is not only admired for its size and symbolism, but also for the unique features that make it one of the most recognizable monuments in the world. From its construction details to its accessibility, the statue has several aspects that stand out. Panoramic views, located at the summit of Mount Corcovado, 700 meters, 2,300 feet above sea level. The statue offers 360-degree panoramic views of Rio de Janeiro. Visitors can see Guanabara Bay with its turquoise waters, the world-famous beaches of Copacabana and Ipanema, the dramatic peak of Sugarloaf Mountain, Pio de Acacar, the sprawling neighborhoods, and the Maracana Stadium, one of the largest football stadiums in the world. On clear days, the view stretches for miles, creating a breathtaking contrast between urban cityscape, lush forest, and ocean horizons. Accessibility, upgrades. Reaching the statue required climbing 220 steps after taking the Corcovado Railway in 2003. Major upgrades were introduced. Escalators and panoramic elevators were installed, making it easier and more inclusive for visitors of all ages and abilities. Improvements significantly increased visitor comfort and accessibility, especially for elderly or disabled tourists. Lighting system: Christ the Redeemer is equipped with an advanced illumination system, allowing it to be lit in vibrant colors for special occasions. Green and yellow for Brazil's independence. Pink during Breast Cancer Awareness Month. Blue for autism awareness. Flags and symbolic colors in solidarity with international events and humanitarian causes. This lighting has transformed the monument into a living symbol of global unity and awareness, visible far beyond Rio at night. Spiritual and religious role: the statue is not just a tourist attraction, it's a place of prayer and worship. Catholic ceremonies and masses are occasionally held at the base, especially during important events like papal visits, feast days, and religious anniversaries. It has also become a pilgrimage site for both Brazilian and international Catholics. Cultural and media presence: Christ the Redeemer has appeared in countless films, documentaries, and advertisements, often symbolizing Rio or Brazil as a whole. It is frequently shown during international broadcasts, such as the FIFA World Cup 2014 and the Olympic Games 2016. Its instantly recognizable silhouette makes it one of the most photographed landmarks in the world. Monumental scale and position: the sheer size of the statue, 38 meters high with a 28-meter wingspan, makes it one of the largest Art Deco statues in the world. Its position at the peak of Corcovado ensures it is visible from virtually anywhere in Rio, creating a constant sense of presence over the city. In essence, the notable features of Christ the Redeemer combine natural beauty, architectural achievement, accessibility, spiritual depth, and cultural influence, making it one of the most visited and admired monuments on Earth. Visitor information: the Christ the Redeemer statue, Cristo Redentor, is one of the most visited landmarks in the world, attracting around 2 million visitors every year. It is both a religious pilgrimage site and a top tourist destination, blending spiritual significance with natural beauty and cultural heritage. How to reach the statue: there are several ways visitors can access the monument. Corcovado Railway. Train de Corcovado the most popular and traditional way to reach the statue. Built in the late 19th century, this train climbs 3.8 kilometers through the lush Tijuca forest, offers scenic views along the way, making the journey part of the experience. Official vans, licensed vans, run from various points in the city: Copacabana, Largo do Machado, and Barra da Tijuca. These vans drive directly up Corcovado, dropping passengers at the visitor center. Hiking trails for adventurous visitors. Trails through the Tijuca National Park lead up to the statue. Popular routes start in Park Lage and take around 2 to 3 hours, offering a more immersive nature experience. Hiking is best for fit visitors, as the climb can be steep and humid. Best times to visit: early morning, 8 to 9 a.m., fewer crowds and cooler weather; late afternoon for 5 p.m. The golden hour provides spectacular photography opportunities, with sunlight casting warm tones over Rio. Avoid midday, tourist numbers peak, and tropical heat can be intense. Tickets and entry tickets include both transportation, train, van, and entrance to the statue. Prices vary depending on the route, chosen train or van, with discounts for children, seniors, and Brazilian residents. Tickets are often sold online in advance to avoid long queues. Visitor facilities, viewing terraces. Panoramic decks around the statue allow for 360 views of the city. Accessibility. Escalators and elevators make the site accessible for elderly, disabled, and families with small children. Shops and cafes, souvenir stores and small food outlets are available near the visitor area. Rest areas, benches and shaded spots offer space to rest, especially after climbing stairs to reach the main terrace. Religious and cultural experience visitors are encouraged to respect the religious significance of the site. Catholic services, blessings, and special ceremonies are occasionally held at the base of the monument. Pilgrims often combine their visit with prayers or symbolic gestures of devotion. Photography and scenic value. The statue provides one of the most photogenic locations in Brazil. Professional photographers are often available on site, but most visitors bring their own cameras and smartphones to capture the breathtaking views. Drone photography is restricted to preserve the sanctity of the site. Visitor numbers. Approximately 2 million people visit annually. It is busiest during major holidays: Christmas, Easter, Brazilian Independence Day, and international events such as the Olympics and FIFA World Cup. In short, visiting Christ the Redeemer is a once-in-a-lifetime experience, combining a journey through lush rainforest, a stunning climb to a mountaintop, and an awe-inspiring encounter with one of the most iconic monuments on Earth. Weather and environmental factors. Lightning strikes due to its height, 38 meters, 124 feet, an elevated location, 700 meters, 2,300 feet above sea level. The statue is frequently struck by lightning. 2008 storms caused small damage to the head and fingers. 2014, a lightning strike broke part of the right thumb, which was quickly repaired. Tropical climate, heavy rainfall, high humidity, and strong winds gradually wear down the soapstone tiles and concrete core. Constant exposure to the elements leads to discoloration, erosion, and small cracks that need regular repair. Tourism pressure. Hosting nearly 2 million visitors annually, the statue must accommodate large crowds daily. Infrastructure such as escalators, elevators, terraces, and access points require constant upkeep. Crowd management is necessary to preserve both visitor safety and the monument's sacred atmosphere. pollution and natural decay. Pollution in Rio de Janeiro contributes to gradual surface darkening and weakening of the soapstone covering. Vegetation growth in nearby areas can affect the foundation if not controlled. Natural aging of materials means continuous inspections are required. Preservation and restoration efforts. 2010 restoration, the largest in its history, costing around $4 million, included replacement of weathered soapstone tiles, structural repairs, and waterproofing upgraded. Internal drainage and electrical systems ongoing. Maintenance, regular inspections by engineers and conservation experts. Tile replacements sourced from the same original quarry, though it is now nearly exhausted, making preservation more difficult. Application of protective coatings to resist weathering. Cultural and UNESCO protection in 2012. Christ the Redeemer became part of Rio de Janeiro's UNESCO World Heritage Site designation. Under Rio de Janeiro, Carioca landscapes between the mountain and the sea. This recognition ensures international oversight and protection, encouraging sustainable tourism and heritage conservation. Balancing preservation and modern use. The challenge lies in balancing tourism, cultural events, and religious significance with conservation. Special illumination for events and international campaigns must be carefully managed to avoid damaging the structure. Conservationists emphasize the need for long-term, sustainable strategies to protect the statue for future generations. In summary, Christ the Redeemer faces constant battles with nature, tourism, and time. But thanks to modern engineering, international recognition, and Brazil's commitment to preservation, it continues to stand as a majestic and enduring symbol. Summary. Table. Christ the Redeemer statue feature details. Official name: Christ the Redeemer, Cristo Redentor. Location: summit of Mount Corcovado, Tijuca National Park, Rio de Janeiro, Brazil. Coordinates: 2257 s, 4312 w. Altitude approximately 700 meters, 2,300 feet above sea level. Construction period 192 to 1931. 9 years. Inauguration date: October 12, 1931. Feast of Our Lady of Apparition. Architect: engineer Hita da Silva, Costa, Brazil. Designer concept: Carlos Oswald, Brazil. Sculptor: head and hands: Paul Landowski, France. Poland. Style: art. Deco height: statue 30 meters, 98 feet height. Pedestal 8 meters, 26 feet. Total height 38 meters, 124 feet. Arm span 28 meters, 92 feet. Weight approximately 635 metric tons. Materials: reinforced concrete core plus soapstone. Outer covering. Funding source: donations from Brazilian Catholic symbolism, Christianity, peace, protection, and Brazilian hospitality. Global recognition: new 7 Wonders of the World 2007 UNESCO status, part of Rio's World Heritage Site. 2012 annual visitors approximately 2 million people. Accessibility: train, Corcovado railway, vans, hiking trails, elevators, escalators. Key challenges: weathering, lightning strikes, humidity, pollution. High tourism. Major restorations: 1980 PayPal visit, 1990s cleaning, 2010 $4 million restoration, 2014 lightning repairs. Final detailed ending. Note: standing high above the vibrant city of Rio de Janeiro, the Christ the Redeemer statue, Cristo Redentor, is far more than just a monument of stone and soapstone. It is a timeless emblem of faith, culture, and human achievement. Since its inauguration in 1931, it has become one of the most recognizable landmarks in the world. uniting spirituality and artistry in a way few monuments can. For Brazilians, it represents national pride and unity, a guardian watching over the city from the peak of Mount Corcovado. For the global community, it is a symbol of peace, hospitality, and hope, transcending religious boundaries to inspire millions, regardless of belief. The statue's Art Deco elegance, monumental scale, and breathtaking setting in Tijuca National Park combine to create an image that feels both majestic and deeply human. Despite the challenges of weather, time, and modern tourism, Christ, the Redeemer, continues to stand strong thanks to tireless preservation efforts. Each restoration breathes new life into the monument, ensuring that future generations can look up at its outstretched arms and feel the same sense of awe and comfort as those who came before. Designated as one of the new 7 wonders of the world and part of Rio's UNESCO World Heritage Landscape, Christ the Redeemer is more than a Brazilian treasure. It is a global masterpiece, a reminder of humanity's capacity to create enduring symbols of love and unity. In the end, whether approached as a site of spiritual devotion, a marvel of engineering, or a spectacular viewpoint over Rio, the Christ the Redeemer statue leaves an indelible impression on all who stand beneath its gaze. It is not merely a monument to look at, but an experience to feel, an embrace in stone, reaching out to the world.